Buffalo soldier, born in America. Swim back and run in the Kona sun, cause it's breakfast with Bob.
Oh, welcome everybody. Breakfast with Bob Championship Edition. Beautiful Four Seasons Resort, Hualalai. My name is Bob Babbitt, brought to you by Master Spas as Fuels Right Fuel Right Time. HOKA Fly Human Fly, Deboer Wetsuits, Quintana Road Challenge Athletes Foundation. Our next guest, bronze medal yesterday, Mr. Rudy Von Berg. How you doing, Rude?
I'm super happy. Very tired, but hard to walk around.
Yes.
But
what I love is when I look at, we had our top three were 7th, 8th, and 11th off the bike. So obviously, you guys being able to run the way you ran, and like you said, the last 8 miles, you've got people breathing down your neck, and you're getting dripped down right now. You're a buffalo.
Yeah.
You can handle it. You're pretty tough. So how tough was it? 54 seconds that you ended up finishing over 4th place.
Yeah, and ended up being really tight. I mean, 1 minute, what did you say, 122?
122 was between 3rd and 5th, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely had to keep it going. I mean, I was telling my parents if I faltered at all, really, even just
gone.
A few seconds a K,
yes,
it was gone. So it really took a lot out of me coming back from Energy Lab. I still felt good in Energy Lab, but once I was did the climb out and was back on Queen K, that stretch is so long.
So long.
Hot.
And you really don't know. There's all sorts of clutter going on. There's aid stations. It's hard to know exactly where you are, and it seems like forever.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. I thought I was still had good energy.
Yeah.
And my nutrition was good, and I thought actually I was gonna finish quite solid the marathon. And I was confident, 3rd was locked in. Well, somewhat, but then, it starts creeping in. The fatigue starts coming in more and more, and it gets tougher and tougher mentally, and on the legs too. My legs were starting to really hurt. But I just had to give everything, really. And, as I said, just keep pace. I was just looking at my watch, and then I checked also my core temperature this morning. It's interesting to see. I mean, I did the whole marathon, or 2 hours 20 of 2 hours 47, in my highest heat zone that I ever hit.
Really?
In my heat training in Boulder. And that's in a 95-degree garage with full winter clothes and no fan. So I did the whole marathon kind of at that temperature.
At that temperature.
Yeah.
So your body was like going, what the hell? It's totally nuts. So last year, Nice, you have a great race, home country, spent so much time there, but you're like, the difference between 3rd and 4th on the podium, off the podium, was that hard for you? Is because you were there. You were on the podium for a big chunk of that run.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I was still pretty happy with it, especially after breaking my collarbone a few months before. And it was still a successful race. I had my best marathon today.
Yes.
So there was not that much I could be disappointed about. However, with time, I was thinking, I was only a minute back from Magnus in the end. Obviously, 3rd is a big step up from 4th.
Yes.
Even honestly, in terms of financially from sponsors.
Sure.
4th, I got almost nothing in terms of bonuses.
Really?
3rd is a bigger step up. And, so it's definitely something I was thinking about this year. And, Podium is...
Podium's sweet.
Just tastes a bit different, obviously.
Well, and also, 2 of the biggest races in the planet. Ironman World Championship, Challenge Roth. You got Podium, you got 3rd in both of them in the same year. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. It ends up being a successful year. I didn't start too hot. Had a bit of slight health, well, not really health issues, but I was low on some vitamins, felt quite fatigued. But finishing strong as I usually do. So,
yes, you do.
I mean, it's not like I'm not training at the beginning of the year,
No, you're always training.
I'm training really hard, but it's just how my body works. I guess the months of training, I just get better and better usually.
Well, and it's always better to be fit at this time of year and have your performances when when it means the most.
Exactly. I mean, championship season, we know it's kind of a bit ingrained in us. It's October, and I mean, definitely to hit your best shape at this point is the most important. So, and then you can always kind of enjoy your off season more, knowing you had a good kind of last race. So.
Did you deal with jellyfish stuff too?
Yeah, it was weird. We all got in the water,
and
right away it was just
Magnus said
they
got together and they were like, okay, October 26th, about 6:25, meet here.
That's what I was telling my friends. I mean, people swim there every day. There's no problem.
Never.
Race day, they're just
Boom.
ready to attack.
That is wild. What'd you get stung?
Nose, feet, well, a bit everywhere. I
Yeah.
didn't really get a reaction like some other
Yes.
did. It was just kind of itchy and
So
a
it
bit
wasn't
uncomfortable.
pain
but
while you were swimming.
It wasn't really bad, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you're 12th out of the water, 11th pro in terms of your bike split, 405. There's a lot of years here. 405 breaks the course record, right? And this year having Sam go 358, whatever the heck he went. It's the ante keeps getting raised. And you've been part of that over this last number. How have you had to change to adapt with how fast everybody's going in, really in all three?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of twofold. You have to obviously still focus on yourself.
Yes.
If you're always thinking about the others, you're not going to get the best out of yourself. But also, yeah, I mean, everyone's getting faster. You have to concentrate on your aero gains, on your bike position, and obviously on your fitness. And then also the dynamics on the bike are getting quite different. I mean, the density of the pack. Right. The front pack, I think it was, 20 of us for most of the ride. Yeah. I mean, that's unheard of in Kona.
And it's so hard when it's 20. It's really hard to make a move. What do? You can't pass 19 guys.
I mean, I tried. I think Ironman also posted a video of me kind of passing the whole group at one point. Yeah. Before Kauai High, I kind of tried to use the hills and the ensuing downhill to my advantage. You can kind of naturally create a bit of a gap. Right. But then again, the movement effect of the group on the downhill will catch you as well, even though you're doing 330 watts, continued for 10-20 minutes. They're just, and much more on the steeper parts, they just end up coming back, and the guys back there are doing much less. But also the yo-yo effect makes it a bit hard to be in the group because you really have to surge over hills. Yes, you do. So it's kind of unclear if it's better to lead or be in the group. I think both are quite difficult. So
well, and it's funny because when you see what Sam did here in Kona a couple years ago, he went off the front, and people thought, okay, he's done that before in other races, and he blows up, and he didn't. And Gustav had to run 236 to catch the guy, and he still got second. Last year, nobody saw him. Right, he had a huge gap off the bike and won from the front. So I know Magnus was like, hey, if he's going off the front and he's going that hard, I've got to go that hard because we can't afford to let him go. Is that what you guys were thinking?
Somewhat, but it's a bit what Patrick said yesterday in the press conference. I mean, we went through 1 hour, we did 46.5 Ks or something. Yeah. I mean, that is a 3:57 pace. Yes,
and everybody was doing that.
Yeah, and I remember at 1 hour and a half, I was at 68K or something. I mean, we were just rolling. Yeah. And the conditions were actually a bit better in 2022. Yes. Because in 22 we had really a solid tailwind in the last 20 miles. Yep. Here we didn't have that. We didn't really necessarily have a strong headwind either, but we had a bit of wind and it was just a tad slower. So it's not like we just again had these most amazing conditions. And then I think also the proof of the fast bike was that the runs were actually not super quick. I mean, Patrick ran really fast, but apart from him, next best run
Matt Hansen, I think. Yeah.
Or 2:45 and then a 2:47. Yes. And then
you were 2:48.
And I'm 2:48, and then to get third. But usually, I mean, 2:48 has won the race in the past, obviously.
Oh, no question.
It's still a good run, but I felt ready to run 2:40. Yes. So I think that's kind of a testament to how hard the bike was.
So when everybody is hammering like you are on the bike, and a lot of times when the people realize, okay, the conditions they're certainly not easy, but they're conducive to going fast. People can get out of their comfort zone and just go, okay, I gotta get as much time here as I can, so that I'll have that in the bag when I start the run. Yeah. And then what happens is it affects people in the run. We saw a lot of carnage out there in the run.
I mean, you definitely have to be prepared to kind of back up what you do on the bike. Yes. And I mean, that's just years of preparation, all the miles on the bike, and then also, I mean, racing with your head as well. Yes. I mean, there were parts where I was really pushing quite hard and the watts were there. But then I had to kind of change my mindset. I was like, okay, now I'm going in the group and kind of resting in a way, even though I kept on having these gaps, and then I would have to chase for the next 5 miles.
And you're burning matches when you do that.
The 50 meters I lost. And that gets quite annoying being in the group as well.
Yes.
Because, yeah, you just have to do really high watts every time or the group is kind of gone.
Yes.
And then, well, thankfully, towards the end, it kind of blew apart a little. But, yeah, as you see, 11th bike time, I was right in the mix off the bike.
So the last time we had an American on the podium was Tim O'Donnell in 2019. Last time we had an American win here, as you've heard over and over again, Tim Deboer, to 2001, 2002. But you're getting there, right? You're getting closer. You've been very patient, and you're a kid who grew up on triathlon. Your dad came here and won his age division 1 million times, and you were a little kid watching that, watching it then, and then seeing your dad at the finish, coming across that line on podium. That had to be pretty emotional.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, it was. I'm usually actually not that emotional.
Yeah.
After races, but. On this one, I mean, it was a combination of emotion and just pain and being happy to be done.
Yeah.
You're just last hour just praying for that finish line. So
yes.
when you finally get there, it's really nice. But, yeah, I mean, that's definitely something I thought about many times in my life. Finishing on the podium, having everyone there,
yes.
my parents, girlfriend at the finish line, hug them, and yeah, just a successful endeavor, really, and having your closest ones there. That's what you want to do in life, pretty much.
Absolutely. And the journey here has been is obviously there have been some pitfalls with broken bones and stuff happens and sickness and things like that. But now you're you've been on the top for quite a while. Obviously, when you're immersed in it, it's easy to just sort of take it for granted. But you sometimes step back and look at my journey here. I was a little kid watching Dad do this silly stuff, and now I'm that guy. I could win the most important triathlon on the planet.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I actually often do think about that. Just the journey, the process, and kind of.
Yes.
I want to be today. I don't want to constantly be at the next race,
right?
Because I know these are likely to be the best years of my life. So,
absolutely.
Just have to enjoy it. And, I mean, just being here with you after the race.
Pretty fun. It's not a bad...
Four Seasons breakfast.
It's pretty cool. It is really cool.
Yeah, with everyone around. So, definitely going to enjoy it for a few days /weeks /months.
I love it. It's been over the last number of years. We've had a lot of chances to chat because you're always racing well. Congratulations, Rudy. Well deserved. You hung in there all day long and just had a phenomenal day. You've never been one who's shy about racing in the biggest spotlight at the biggest stage and putting together great performance. Congratulations.
Thank you, Bob.
Rudy Von Berg has been our guest again, third place. Poncho Man, take us out.
He was a Buffalo soldier, born in America. Swim back and run in the Kona sun, cause his preference with bar.
And Poncho Man, everybody.